Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with more RWBY. This is Volume 6, Chapter 3, The Lost Fable, and at the end of the last episode, RWBY was able to ask Jin what Ozpin is hiding from all of them, and we're getting a backstory about Salem. Very curious to see how she and Oz, what kind of relationship they had, and I always think that making a villain more complicated, more real, more human is the best way to go. Makes them so much more interesting, and really excited for this. So take a quick moment to leave a like and let's get right into it. Bow, 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 bow. It popped open. Hey. I miss the lighthearted days. Even though we have lighthearted moments, I still miss the lighthearted days we used to have. Back in the first 3 volumes. That's a sign of alcoholism. Like that, things being drawn, people being drawn back downwards. And what is with Roman? What is his name? Roman Harper? No, that's a football player. What is Roman's hat doing flying through Volume 5? Volume 6, rather. So this is Salem. Really like this scene right here. Monty.
Locked away by her cruel father, Salem was a girl who desired but one thing: freedom. She lived in a time when kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were capable of greatness, and magic was a gift from the gods that all could wield. And yet there she sat within her tower. Until one day, a legendary hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's walls. The people of the lands knew him
as
Oz.
Ozma.
Unlike those who had come before, this warrior was not driven by the prize of the young maiden's hand. He fought only for righteousness, and his pure heart and courageous soul prevailed. They escaped the wretched fortress, and yet something bound them together. Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for. And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for, but in the eyes of the man that had saved her.
So, where should we go now?
Wherever you'd like.
The two fell deeply in love, planned
Wow.
adventures around the world, and lived happily ever after.
If only it were so.
Least, that's what should have been. Ozma, the infallible hero of legend, fell ill.
Jeez.
And where all of the beasts and blades of the world had fallen short, a single sickness prevailed.
How could the gods let this happen?
The gods, brothers of light and darkness, creation and destruction. Salem prayed they would see the injustice that had befallen her love and make things right.
It's not the way it
The
works,
domain
is it?
of light was a sacred place. It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of life and creation. It was here where mankind would fall to ruin.
Oof. She's not handling the loss well because she's never lost anything before. She had nothing to begin with. Okay. Antler Man?
Please bring him back to me.
I understand your pain, but you demand of me that which I cannot make so. Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
So, you won't do it then?
To disrupt the cycle of...
That's not fair. That's not fair!
Let
It isn't.
him rest.
But he's not resting, is he? He's reincarnated. Or not reincarnated, he moved to a different body, right?
No.
So she went
The god of darkness.
to the god of darkness.
None dared to enter his home, as men knew what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools of annihilation.
Huh. The Grim.
And so you must understand the Dark Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
The twitching and... Oh.
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss, and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Rise, child, and let your faith in me be rewarded.
What?
Where am I? What is this? Where am I?
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
This is not creation.
Do not lecture me.
You're gonna fight him on his turf?
I must to maintain order.
Oh. That's the way
No! What did you do? Bring
Pyrrha disappeared,
You
wasn't
dare
it?
enter my domain and show such disrespect.
Ozma!
I am
Oh my
abiding
God.
by the rules we agreed upon.
Rules that I now see work ever in your favor. And yet the day a mortal comes to pray at my feet before your own, so do you rise to lay your judgment upon me.
Does Ozma didn't even want to be around anymore? Oh. Oh.
I know we have our differences, but I have not come here with the aim to control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created. Together.
Then it seems I owe you an apology.
Ah.
Allow me to correct my mistake.
Oh. And so she turned against the both of them.
You monsters! Give him back to me! Give him back!
Oh.
When you first came to me, I did pity you. But it is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
What did you do to me?
I have made you immortal.
What?
Immortal?
Why?
You cannot die. You cannot be with your beloved. So
You-
long as this
This world turns, you shall walk its face.
Why? That's so stupid.
You must learn the importance of life and death.
Ah,
Only then may you rest.
Salem was a prisoner once again. Her
In
fruitless
life.
attempts to reunite with Ozma eventually became nothing more than acts of spite and defiance against the gods.
oh my god.
But perhaps the gods were not as powerful as they seemed. She had lied to them, turned them against one another. They were fallible. If she were to turn humanity against light and darkness, she could rid herself of their curse. Or at the very least, she could make them suffer. Salem traveled from one kingdom to another, telling tales of how she stole immortality from the gods, welcomed any swordsman to cut her down, and demonstrated her powers. With the kings and queens in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme. She painted them pictures of a time when they would no longer have to watch their loved ones wither and die, when they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design.
The gods wanted her to be more humble, and they gave her immortality.
Was destroy their old masters. The gods had hoped that Salem would learn from her eternal curse. And she did. She learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
That is so.
Who has led you down this path?
Who do you think? Ooh.
My own gift to them, used against me.
Wow. They're all dead, except for her.
You thought there was no greater punishment we could bestow upon you?
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre. Build a new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left. You are all that remains of humanity.
What?
This planet was a beautiful experiment, but it is merely a remnant of what it once was. We will learn from this failure. I hope that you will learn from yours.
Jeez.
No, you can't leave. You can't leave. Come back.
Still demanding things of your creators.
Wow. That's where that comes from.
Once again, Salem was alone. She cursed the gods. She
Jeez.
cursed the universe. She cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come. Until fate led her back to the land of darkness. This was it. This had to be it. The Brothers Grimm, the pools of black that continued to give rise to horrific nightmares. If the Fountain of Life granted her immortality,
Oh,
then
damn.
surely the pools of Grimm would finally take it away.
Nope.
She was wrong. This force of pure
Oh,
destruction
God.
could not destroy a being of infinite life. Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction. And in time, she would find her adversary.
What the heck, man?
Ozma.
Where am I?
We are between realms. I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother. We have chosen to depart this world, but in our absence, I would
Jeez.
like to offer you the chance to return to it.
Don't understand.
Mankind is no more, yet your world remains, and in time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were. Creation, destruction, choice, and knowledge were the ideals upon which humanity was made. Now, I leave them behind with the hope that you may learn to remake yourselves. If brought together, these 4 relics will summon my brother and I back to
Oh,
your
wow.
world, and humanity will be judged. If
Judged.
your kind has learned to live in harmony with
Oh,
one another,
God.
and set aside their differences, then we shall once again live among you, and humanity will be made whole again. But if your kind is unchanged, if you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves, then man will be found irredeemable, and your world will be wiped from existence.
It's impossible for all of them to be
Until
one way or
your
the
task is
other.
complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner
He was
that
the
ensures
first.
you are never alone.
I'm sorry, but that world just isn't as dear to me without her.
She's there.
If I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her there.
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives, but the woman you hold dear in your memories is gone. Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So, will you...
I'll do it.
To be with
Very
Salem.
well. Our creation
Oh, God.
rests within your hands.
They put him in charge.
And so, Ozma was reborn.
Oh, God.
Where am I? Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
He didn't know.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him. Cities looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away
Oh,
in
come
cages.
on.
And without the blessing of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of. No one but himself and a woman known as
Salem.
the Witch.
The witch.
During his years of travel, he heard the same frightened whispers that spoke of a terrifying sorceress who commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters. Ozma was convinced that this witch was Salem, and decided he needed to see what she had become. Call it magic or call it something stronger, but in that moment, the two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
What do we do
She's
now?
too far gone.
Whatever we like.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld parts of their story. Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics a secret. Though time passed and all seemed well, Ozma's conversation with the God of Light still lingered in his mind. He had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Are you surprised?
Jeez.
This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps
And
that's all
you
we need.
want someone to guide them.
We could become the gods of this world. Our powers surpass all others. Our souls transcend death. We can mold these lands into whatever we want. What you want. Create the paradise that the old gods could not.
The hearts of men are easily swayed.
This is her doing? Whoa. Never mind. Holy crap. Treated as gods. Statues made of them.
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
The maidens. The maidens.
Are we
If she-
sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word.
Oh
And destroy
god.
those who will deny it.
Jeez.
What are we doing? This isn't what he asked of me.
What did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
She has magic.
It was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But what should have been a joyous occasion was short-lived. Ozma told Salem everything. The true reason the God of Light had brought him back. The relics that lay scattered around the world. And the day of judgment he had been told to prepare for.
Don't you see? None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
God. You have fundamental disagreements about life. Are you trying to sneak them away from her? Oh man. That was... I don't know. That was not a good move. Hey, it's Harry Potter.
We finally had freedom.
And he's
Thus began a
reincarnated.
long and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma. Some lives were spent in mourning. Many were spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what,
Wow.
his mind would eventually turn back to the task he had been burdened with. And as the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where or how he lived, her presence was always felt. If humanity were ever to stand a chance of being united, one thing was clear.
He had to destroy Salem.
Jeez.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma sought out the power of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed he could fulfill his promise to the God of Light.
Where are the other relics?
He asked me his questions,
What powers do they possess?
and though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
not all of them were to his liking. You can't.
So, to make peace with the world, to bring them together, you have to save her somehow. What the heck? That's not the end of the episode, is it? That was 20-something minutes? Jeez, that flew by. And, I don't know that I do understand her more. I sympathize with her. I don't know if I empathize with her. That's some sad stuff she has to go through, though. But the gods made the mistake there, making her immortal. Or, I don't know, is it a mistake? It's only a mistake if she never comes to see the light. It's only a mistake... I mean... I don't know. What is their end goal? Is she the one who comes back from at the end and sees the light and sees the mistake she's made? If she can't die, if we can't pass this test unless she changes, that seems highly unlikely. And so those 4 daughters, but we had the World of Remnant explaining how the maidens got their powers. And it was said that the father gave them to them. So I'm a little confused at the moment. Okay, so yeah, interesting. I was right last time when I said this Ozma looks the most like this Ozma. And so this was the first one. Ozma. I don't know what they're at. Everything started with an Oz, but he's Ozpin, and then now he's an Oscar. So what now? Does she hold a grudge? Does she specifically hate Oscar now, or any person who Ozma inhabits now? This is really, really... Like, I understand the psychology behind her, but at this point, she's just done so much bad that her past doesn't excuse her actions. Up to a point it does. I can understand, like, being locked up is a form of abuse, since she doesn't have the freedom to do what she wants. Ozma, this righteous, he did it for the right reason, saving her, didn't want to be with her. He just felt like it was right to free her, and then wound up falling in love. And knowing what he does now, would he still free her? Because it was the right thing to do, but it led to so much pain and heartache for so many people. The whole species wiped out. I don't know how they came back. I don't know. Did they evolve from previous monkeys or something? Evolved into humans again? It took that long or something? Interesting that she wears basically the same thing for so long. They have their signature look and they don't really change. But, she fell so in love that, and like I mentioned before, she hadn't lost anything before. She just never had anything. And so the very first thing that she wants after getting out is him, and then she loses him. That, I understand her wanting him back so much. And it's not her fault that she wasn't prepared emotionally for all of this, for any of this. She was so mistreated. And the gods decided to teach her a lesson by making her immortal? I mean, come on. That feels unnecessarily cruel. Just let her die like a normal person. Making her immortal was the worst possible thing they could have done. But I guess it is also the ultimate test of humanity, of her humanity. Because if someone as broken as her can come back to, I don't know, I don't want to say the good side, but aside, if she can make peace with all the other humans and they can make peace with her, that speaks to how there is hope for humans, because even the worst of them can be redeemed. Oh, but I don't know. This is. I understand the balance. She was just so desperate. Like, why did you make this into a test for her? It's just so needlessly cruel. Of course she goes to whoever can help her. And they fight each other for a bit. What is this? The god of chaos? The god of darkness? Darkness? I forgot the exact wording they used, but the way he like twitches, oh, and he's like walking backwards on. Ugh. Very interesting. And she's not even herself anymore, is the problem. Like, I understand she went too far in leading everybody against the gods, but if she felt like she jumped into the pool of grim juice, I don't know what it's called, dark pool of grim juice, that's not fully her anymore. So that could be blocking her from ever feeling redeemed. It like tore her apart from the inside and inside and out, and she's not herself anymore. So, like, she's part grim now, and for her to be able to come back to the light for all humans to get along, that would mean that the grim would also have to be able to come on to the side of humans and understand humans and live in harmony, which there's been no sign that that's possible. So I don't know. This part was amusing. Like, it's comical. It's sad but comical that he just like, I'm back, what's happening? And then he disappears. Brought back, disappears, and then gets killed. Poor guy. These two dragons. One with wings, one that just floats. Very long boy. Right, but the way the god of creation destroyed Ozma again, very reminiscent of how what was I saying? Very reminiscent of how Pyrrha was destroyed by Cinder. And so, actually, it's funny that I'm thinking about this, but since Cinder was destroyed in a way that looks very similar to the way Ozma was, and Ozma was brought back, it's possible Pyrrha comes back, right? Am I being ridiculous right now? I think it would need the power of the gods. It would take them coming back and judging humans correctly, or judging them favorably but then they would also have to be convinced to bring her back, which I guess they wouldn't do. Actually, no, Ozma was brought back. They decided to bring Ozma back and leave things to him. I guess if they feel like Ozma deserves rest after all this time, they can put Pyrrha in charge? I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws to bring her back still. It's ridiculous. But this is such a cruel fate. I like this shot because she's clearly just like off screen to Ruby's left, and Ruby just like looks at the shadow because she doesn't want to see it actually happen. I I guess it would be too gruesome to show on screen too. This would be rated R and probably get demonetized. I don't know. I don't know how YouTube works really. Despite being a YouTuber for like 2 years, I don't understand how YouTube works. And yeah, people have their reasons appealing to. Oh man. This is a sad, sad state of affairs. They wiped out all humans because of her. To punish her. How is that right? Just let her die and let her grieve and be with the man she loved. I don't know what state they're in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife in this world, but all those people didn't deserve that. Like, what are you thinking, man? And they left her to wander the world alone. And that's how the moon gets broken up. We hadn't seen that before. That was pretty cool. Everything she did was motivated by pain. And a lot of it was pain that they inflicted on her. If they had just let her kill herself, let her die, this would have never happened. Disappointing. And yeah, jumping in, she's not herself anymore. It's like her DNA has changed. Because, I mean, you need your DNA to change your eye color, right? And she's been, I don't know how long she spent down there. I don't know if we're meant to assume that she was there for like a short period of time. She was so pale, white. And they gave Ozma. And also the fact that they brought Ozma back. Did they feel like he was the most righteous man? Did they do this just to taunt Salem? I don't know. Right? Because if there has to be other people who were worthy, who would want to help humanity stay on its feet, but no, they chose the man that Salem loves. And they're asking, they know that she can't die, so they're asking him to make nice with her, to bring her back to the good side, even though they also warned him to stay away. And bringing the 4 relics together, I don't know what they do individually beyond just the relic of knowledge. My big question is, why did Ozpin not want the rest of the team to know about all of this? Did he think it would be too much for them to handle? Did he think that this would change how they saw him? None of that matters. Their end goal is still the same, isn't it? Maybe he didn't want them to feel sympathy for Salem, because that would make it harder to do what needs to be done. I don't know. I have so many questions still, and it's all really. I don't know how. I guess humans came back because monkeys evolved or something again. I don't know. And this time they made Faunus to make it even harder for all humans to come together. To be fair, Gira's starting to do a good job. I have hope for the future in that regard, but things obviously get better over time, as they do in our real world. But they fell in love again and got to be together again. And they were only together for like one lifetime, because he's not even old before he fights her again. And he wasn't, not much time had passed the first time they were together. So they were apart for so long, and they were together for such a short amount of time, and then they've been mortal enemies ever since, basically. And I don't know, what does Salem want to do? She wants to be a goddess, and shape the world in her image, bring the world together. No, she doesn't even want to bring the world together anymore. She's like, what is the point of that, right? So what is she doing now? She's just doing everything out of spite for Ozma? I don't know. Now, it does feel like a lot of it is being mistreated. She's been mistreated her entire life. And it doesn't excuse the bad that she's done, but I do really like this episode. It explains a lot, and she's more complicated. Those are the maidens, right? Let me take another look. Winter, springs, fall, summer? Winter, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor? I think you can. Okay, from left to right, summer, winter, spring, fall? Based on the colors, I guess. That little toy was destroyed. What happened to the kids? What happened to the kids? I mean, how they didn't really expect, like, the gods didn't really expect Ozma to not go to Salem. They were so in love. I think it was within their plans, but then yeah, I wonder how much I wonder how far they thought ahead, and if they want the end goal for it to be Ozma and Salem coming together and bringing humanity together for real. Don't see a way. Did I just press zero? I pressed zero and it jumped all the way to the beginning. I don't see how a way for that to happen, sadly. But very tragic story. Looks like Ozpin had families afterwards. We didn't, or Ozma had family afterwards. Or he took over the body of somebody who already had a family. It feels weird because he's not reincarnated as a baby and lives through everything again. He like takes over somebody else's body who's already living, and I don't know why. Like, the only reason I can think of, the main reason I can think of for Ozpin to hide Ozma, I don't know what to call him. I guess he's only Ozpin in the most recent version before Oscar, so I'll call him Ozma, I guess, or just Oz. I'll call him Oz. The main reason I can think of why Oz didn't want Team RWBY to find out, so desperately didn't want them to find out, is he doesn't want them to show sympathy or empathy to the woman he loved. But I don't know. I feel like that's crucial if we want to bring everybody together, since she can't be destroyed. People need to understand her and get her back somehow. Though I don't know how that could possibly be. Because unless they kill off Cinder, everybody on Team RWBY, Jean, needs to make peace with Cinder and live in harmony. Like, it feels too ridiculous to say that everybody has to live together in harmony, or I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. It's impossible. Anyway, really, really interesting chapter, and I hope this lore, I hope it gets looked at more closely. I hope we expand upon it even more, because it's really, really fascinating. And it does feel like it's been set in place for a very long time, even way back when. But yeah, very, very cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We are 1 week ahead over on Patreon. Leave a like, really helps the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends. Wow.